This Laclede County man is in jail tonight. He's charged with child abuse. Investigators say George Holmes may have been beating that child for months, and now the 3-year-old is in a special St. Louis hospital. We're going to warn you, some of the details of this report could be upsetting, especially to children. Now, given that, Marina Silva looks at what investigators have revealed about the case and the condition of this child tonight. Marina.
9 pages of court documents I got from Laclede County detailing the abuse into the 3-year-old little boy. They go into detail about how the deputies found the little boy, even saying they found his legs mangled.
For the people on Green Gables Lane, the soothing sounds of spring have been interrupted with the horror of what police found at this house last week.
Literally makes me sick.
Shauna Rubel lives nearby. Hearing the news upset her.
Makes me sick to my stomach. The 3 rules in life: you don't hurt elderly, children, or animals because they're helpless.
George Holmes is charged with child abuse. Police were called to the house last Wednesday after someone got a text saying Holmes had hurt a 3-year-old boy.
Even when they went into the room, that they knew immediately that this child had to get to a hospital.
Doctors say the 3-year-old little boy has injuries all over his body, fractures on both arms and legs, swollen eyes, one of which is also infected, a blood infection, bone infection, and bleeding on his brain. Doctors say it may be shaken baby syndrome. He was anemic and malnourished. Documents also say a doctor found bed sores and bites or cuts that look like they came from animals like rats. The doctor also says he believes the boy was confined to a small space or not allowed to move a lot. Hospital staff say the 3-year-old would have, quote, died within a week if gone untreated. Deputies say there was an audio recording where you can hear Holmes yelling at the boy, smacking sounds, and screams from the boy. They spoke with the mother, who claimed Holmes had been hurting her child since November. The mother said no one was allowed to leave the house after Holmes lost his job 2 weeks ago. She said she was too afraid to get help until she sent a text to her aunt last week. Investigators say there wasn't much food in the house, especially not enough for 6 children and 2 adults.
And there wasn't much food, but there is some signs of the children being malnourished. When I say the children, there are other children who do not seem to be maybe subjected to the physical abuse, but certainly to mental abuse and the withholding of some food. And but we certainly have a child that is malnourished in our victim.
Sheriff Millsap says this is a case that takes a toll on a lot of people.
All child abuse cases are very difficult to deal with, but certainly when you see a 3-year-old that has significant injuries, life-threatening injuries, certainly takes its toll on your staff. But that's what we do, and certainly nothing compared to the injuries and the suffering that this child has gone through. And so, you know, it's one of those things where you buck up and you drive forward and you do the right thing as doing your job. But it's tough.
The court documents also say this is the 2nd time Holmes has been investigated into accusations of shaken baby syndrome. At the time, it was his 6-month-old child, and that was about 10 years ago in the state of California. Right now, the mother is not facing any charges into this incident. Reporting live in Laclede County, I'm Marina Silva.